like Florian Wirtz is on the verge of getting a very big move this summer. And according to a lot of top media outlets in Germany, it's being reported that he's rejected a couple of elite clubs in favor of joining Bayern Munich. And we got to break this down. But I need you guys to get in that comment section and let me know what you think about Florian Wirtz and if you think that a move to Bayern would be beneficial for his career. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. But let's get it. So according to Bild, Florian Wirtz has informed Xabi Alonso that he doesn't want to move to either Real Madrid or Manchester City. He only wants to join FC Bayern. And I just want to say, as a Madrid fan, thank God, because I didn't want us to sign this guy, right? Florian Wirtz is a very good player. Some people might tell you that he's generational. But I think the issues that Real Madrid have at the moment, we don't need them. Unless Florian Wirtz can line up at center back or right back or even left back, right? If he can't play one of those three positions, then we don't need to be looking at him, right? Bringing in a player like Florian Wirtz, that would stunt the development of a Arda Güler, who I think has just as high of a potential, right? We also got Jude, we got Brahim, we got Rodrigo, right? We got Dani Ceballos, we got Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Luka Modric, all these midfielders. If we would have went out there this summer window and dropped 130 million on Florian Wirtz, an attacker, I might have been Florentino Perez out because we need defenders. So this would have been more of a luxury signing. I just wanted to throw that out there. I've been super consistent with these takes all season. Florian Wirtz is not a player that Real Madrid need. So I'm happy that he has rejected us. I don't even know why we were in for him in the first place. But I get it, right? Xabi Alonso, we all know that it's more than likely that he's going to be joining Real Madrid. And considering that Florian Wirtz is the biggest, I'd say, star that Leverkusen have at the moment, right? He's the person that they can get a lot of money from. It makes sense that the rumors would say that Xabi Alonso would want him to join Real Madrid, right? Because that's just usually how things go, right? You get a new coach in, and then maybe they might bring their star player from their former team. But I'm happy that he has rejected Real Madrid. Now, as far as the other two teams are concerned, right? Man City, they've been heavily linked to this guy. And I actually think that they need him desperately. So do Bayern Munich as well, who I'll talk about last. But as far as Man City are concerned, I mean, we've saw them this season fall off a cliff, right? Kevin De Bruyne is leaving at the end of the season. He's no longer that same player that he used to be. And it doesn't look like Man City have an heir to that KDB throne, right? Everybody thought that it would be Phil Foden, but Phil Foden has been super mediocre this season, right? He's more so a player that performs when the rest of the team is clicking. He's not one of those guys that's going to be able to carry you through the mud. And if you look at Florian Wirtz, right? He's an attacking midfielder. He's very creative. He's very good on the ball, good passing range, good shooter as well, and he can only get better. So for Pep Guardiola and Man City, I definitely understand why they're looking at him, right? He could be one of those key players that helps get Man City back to winning ways. And also, we know that Man City have a lot of money to spend, right? We know that they can offer you good wages, and they do have arguably the best coach in the world. So I think a lot of people thought that Florian Wirtz would definitely want to join Man City. Now, looking at Bayern, I think that we got to talk about this from two different points of view, right? One, how it benefits Bayern bringing him in, and then two, how it impacts how the Bundesliga is viewed. So before I talk about how that league operates, I think Florian Wirtz would be an amazing signing for Bayern, right? There's already proof of concept that him and Musiala can play together. They do it for Germany, and they do a very good job. And at Bayern, they already have their 10 in Musiala. They have their right winger in Olise. They have their number 9 with Harry Kane. And they need somebody that can be a threat on the left side of their attack because Serge Gnabry and Leroy Sané are mid. So Florian Wirtz can definitely go to Bayern and boost them immediately. And I know that they just won the Bundesliga, right? They dominate that league. And Florian Wirtz was a part of a Leverkusen team that disturbed that Bayern dominance, right? We saw Bayern before Leverkusen won it for 10 plus years win that Bundesliga. They literally monopolized the German league. Now, the question that I have for the chat, if you're still watching at this point in the video, is Florian Wirtz going to be considered a snake to Leverkusen fans? Is he going to be considered a Judas? Look at how Trent Alexander-Arnold is being treated by Liverpool fans. And he's leaving the country. He's not joining one of their rivals. He's not going to an Arsenal, a Man City, a Manchester United, a Tottenham, right? He's going to Real Madrid in Spain. So, is Florian Wirtz considered a snake in Germany? Now, we got to give Leverkusen credit because what they did a season ago where they went invincible, right? They did the domestic double. I think that was fantastic. And I thought they were going to get rated last summer. That's usually what happens when smaller teams exceed expectations. Like when they go crazy and their players are performing, bigger clubs come in. And Leverkusen, they did a good job of holding on to a majority of their key players. Xabi Alonso stayed for another year as well. And I thought that they were going to be able to challenge again. But this season, they've kind of fallen off a bit, right? They weren't able to maintain the level that they had last season. And I think that's natural. Like I told people heading into this season that Bayern were going to win the Bundesliga. There was no way that they were going to go back-to-back seasons without winning some kind of silverware. And the league is Bayern's to win. But this is why a lot of people do not rate what they have going on in Germany. This is the equivalent of if Real Madrid went and signed Pedri or signed Lamine Yamal from Barca. This is the equivalent of if Man City went and signed Bukayo Saka. Or if, let's say, I don't know, Tottenham or Arsenal. Let's say if Arsenal took, Tottenham don't even have a player that's of that kind of level. But you know what I'm trying to say. This is why nobody cares about what goes on in the Bundesliga, right? You can't take every team's best players and then expect people to rate what you have going on. Because I know a lot of Bayern fans, they say that they don't care, but you can always tell, right? I talk to Zaire, I talk to Liam, right? We do streams together. They always act like they're not bothered that we don't rate their league. But deep down, they know that what we're saying is true. Like, for you to go, right? And Florian Wirtz is one of the best talents in Germany. Yo, the Bayern board, they have been twerking for Florian Wirtz. The Bayern board themselves have said that he is the best German talent. They've disrespected Jamal Musiala for him. And again, I know that they want to bring him in. He's a very good player. And I think a lot of clubs around Europe would definitely want a guy like Florian Wirtz. But again, let's not act like this does not kind of stain your league, right? Outside of Bayern, name me another serious German club. Borussia Dortmund, who history-wise are a big club, they're the equivalent of human traffickers. These guys don't care about winning. They don't care about competing. The only thing that they want to do is buy young kids, make them good, and then sell them for profit. As long as Dortmund are doing that, they're happy. Maybe they do want to make the Champions League because then they get to offer these young kids Champions League, and that could be something that entices them to come in. Look, Dortmund are the best, or one of the best clubs in the world at developing young talent, but they're not actually trying to win. And now you have Leverkusen who comes along, and they actually do push Bayern for a season or two. And then what do Bayern Munich go do? Take their best young player. I mean, look, it is what it is. As I said, I'm glad that he's not coming to Real Madrid. That would have been a waste of money. We need to address the defense before we think about any kind of attacking signings. But I get it, right? They are the biggest team in Germany. And generally, right, German players, why wouldn't you want to play for Bayern? You get to stay home, right? You get to stay in your home country. It's not a culture shock. And you're going to dominate the Bundesliga. You're going to win trophies. And Bayern, they are an elite club, right? They are a team that's right up there with the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, and the Man Cities. Like, they are one of those teams that have very high standards. They expect to win. But look, I think it's a good move, right? I know Man City, them missing out on him is going to be pretty interesting to see what they do. I know that they're linked to like a Morgan Gibbs-White. They're also linked to a couple of other players, but I think Florian Wirtz would have been that main target. And if he does go to Bayern, I think this is going to be a record transfer for them, right? He would definitely be breaking whatever record they've previously had, because Leverkusen are going to want to get as much money possible out of Bayern to sign one of their top players. But let's see how he does at Bayern, right? I wonder how Vincent Kompany is going to use him. I personally think that he goes on that left wing, right? I think him and Musiala will rotate, right? Either one of them will be in the 10, one of them will be on the left. And then that front four is very scary. Let's just be honest. So, look, this is one to keep an eye on, right? But according to a lot of big outlets in Germany, the move is going to happen. He's rejected Man City. He's rejected Real Madrid because he wants to go to Bayern Munich. I know a lot of Man City fans are going to be annoyed about that, but shit, not me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I did want to show this right here, right? Look at the first comment underneath this tweet. He says, and this is Hamza. This guy waffles online, but big up to him. But he said, he can't join their rivals. This is why we laugh at the Bundesliga. Can you imagine a player leaving Liverpool and joining Man United or Arsenal or Spurs? This can't be true. I think people have to realize, right? The tribalism that exists in the Premier League, I don't think it's the same like in Germany, right? We've seen Bayern take a bunch of players off of Dortmund who are supposed to be their biggest rivals, right? Like Lewandowski, like Mario Götze and these different guys. Like, this is just what they do. But it is what it is. Good move for Bayern, right? I would definitely want to know how much this is going to cost. And I wonder, like what number he'll take, maybe. Yeah, I mean, look, different things. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you're saying about Florian Wirtz rejecting Man City and Real Madrid to possibly join Bayern Munich. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel, people. And don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Welcome to Carnage Extra. You guys definitely do not want to miss any of the videos that we got coming out. It's going to be a big summer window.